Good evening, spirits and specters, and welcome to yet another spine-tingling chapter of Blood from a Stone, a tale of love and dread in RPG. My name is Philip. I am your Dread Master for the evening, and surrounding me are the victims. I mean players. Say hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
There you go. One of
Hello,
them did
everyone.
yeah, there we go. Now we got the Gracie Allen joke. How's everybody doing on this fine Friday night?
Super great.
Wonderful. I'm so happy to have so many people here. This is going to be a fun session, I think. We are back in Merkshire, a place that is very close to my heart. I mean, realistically, all these domains are very close to my heart, and I will never be.
You have one of those?
Where my heart? What is it? I have the heart of a small boy in a jar on my desk. Remember that's a Stephen King quote. People think I'm so twisted, but I have the heart of a small boy in a jar on my desk. Yeah. Some very fun stuff going on here. I think I'm gonna just kind of basically sort of do a recap of sort of some things that happened recently here in Merkshire. Some of the occupants of this domain wound up sort of leaving Merkshire through a spell that took the form of a song, leaving behind Sarah Quill, Conrad Bourgeois, and Siobhan Walsh. Sarah Quill had already been injured by her own dalliances with tomes of dread and was sort of in a period of recuperation from those injuries. Conrad and Siobhan, well, we'll get to what they've been up to in a little bit, but people from Merkshire then ventured to another domain called Heistales. Sister Mercy and S.A. Rawlings. Events happened in Heistales, leading to the death of a Dark Lord there, and the possibility of passage out of Heistales into other domains of dread. The mists grew weaker in response to the death of a Dark Lord at the hands of watch session 43 if you are interested, but poor Igneous. In any event, Sarah Quill awoke from her sort of period of recuperation, still not in the best of shape, but feeling able after several days kind of just in bed of being able to get up and around. She wandered around the house before most people were up, briefly encountering Polly and Master Cravengate, both of whom seemed to be acting very strangely, as if some confusion or miasma-like disorientation has settled over this place. She found a very interesting black flower. Upon cutting her hand, it seemed to suck her blood out. She had a couple of conversations with the ghost of Lorelei. And then, at breakfast with Polly, she tried to suck the blood from the girl's arm. Polly managed to run away. Sarah Quill ran after her before she, in turn, had to run for her life, first from Hoggins the footman, who felt that he needed to smack her in the head, and then from the ghost of John Hull, who appeared at the top of the stairs and chased her. Sarah Quill fought her way through the house, finding a sort of rear servant's entrance. She burst out of it, across the way, beyond the pool. She saw a glimpse of a Scotch baronial revivalist manor peeking through the mist. The mist seemed to be very agitated. She heard footsteps pounding, coming up behind her from the door as she stood there just outside the house. And that is where we ended our session, and will resume in mere moments right after tonight's invocation. And again, we have expanded the brief for these invocations here in Merkshire slightly. just to kind of give myself more influences to play with a bit. For the fleecing schemester is well read. The rivers, lakes, and ocean all stood still, and nothing stirred within their silent depths. Ships sailorless lay rotting on the sea, and their masts fell down piecemeal. As they dropped, they slept on the abyss without a surge. The waves were dead. The tides were in their grave. The moon, their mistress, had expired before. The winds were withered in the stagnant air, and the clouds perished. Darkness had no need of aid from them. She was the universe. Sarah Quill. As you sort of leap forward out of the house, we're actually going to now turn our attention to Conrad Bourgeois and Siobhan Walsh, who, upon hearing that Sarah was up and about and finding her not at breakfast and hearing a commotion, you ventured down the hall to the door to the pool, which you opened and stepped out of, only to see Sarah Quill about 20 yards away, leaping out of the servant's rear entrance that goes down sort of a long path that goes around to the side of the house. She leaps out of it and cowers, glancing ahead with wild eyes at the pool, where she seems to act as if she is seeing something beneath the waves, and then staring agape at the mists beyond the pool and the copse of trees.
Sarah, what in tarnation are you doing out here?
Conrad, something bad has happened, something terrible.
Slow
Many
down.
bad things have been happening. What happened, Sarah?
I was overtaken by the madness again.
Oh, what happened?
First, I heard a noise and I went to find you all, and then I ran into Master Craven Gate and Polly, and they were acting very strange, and then I talked to Lorelei, and then I found a flower and it tried to eat me, and I couldn't find any of you, and then I was told not to go to a house. There was just a lot that's happened.
Sarah, slow down. Are you sure this isn't one of the symptoms of the injury? I mean, are you doing okay?
No, my head is... It's fine. It hurts a little bit, but it's fine.
Here, let me take a look. I want to take a look.
Make a medicine roll, then.
Yeah.
You're uncertain. She doesn't appear to be in like mortal danger, but you know, with no medical acumen, you're not sure what's going on. She certainly seems very agitated. A door is open behind her, sort of leading back to the kitchens and the various servants' staircases.
I've done something awful that I didn't mean to do, but for some reason I wanted to, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
It happens to the best of us. I mean,
What did you do?
I tried to drink Polly's blood.
I mean, out of her, or was it in a cup, or?
No, what an interesting question. Out of her hand. She had cut her hand, and I remembered a dream that I had, and I wanted to taste it.
Well, you have lost a lot of blood recently, so perhaps you would have needed to replace some of the blood you lost. I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Would I be familiar with creatures that consume
You could
blood?
roll an occult roll, certainly. And as Siobhan sort of... Are you guys going to Sarah? Are you keeping your distance?
Oh, I've walked up to check her
Yeah,
head.
you walk up to her. Siobhan, how near are you to Sarah?
18, which is a success.
Wonderful. You are familiar with the So Siobhan, go ahead and click your box for occult.
Did I remember?
Wonderful. I'm trying to remind everyone of that tonight because it's.
I always forget.
We always need reminders, even when we're in this world for weeks at a time. So it's fine.
So Siobhan, you are quite familiar with myths, legends, and stories of vampires, those who drink the blood of the living, undead things that extend an unnatural life by consuming life in others. Sarah Quill, as sort of Siobhan and Conrad are near you. Well, this talk of blood has an interesting effect. I need you to, can you increase your listen score by 50? Yes, Sarah Quill. What does that get you to?
It gives me 70.
70. Oh, okay, actually, so that is... You were not so great at this before. So, Sarah Quill, suddenly things seem a little louder. That is, however, enough to hear this passively. With them so close, and based on what you are attuned to, you hear at two slightly different rates. Pum-pum, 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 pum-pum. And you look, and it's strange. You can almost see their jugulars pulsing in time to the beating of their hearts. Do either Siobhan or Conrad have over 50 on their spot hidden? Conrad does. Conrad, you notice her kind of staring at your throat.
Sarah, hey, what are you noticing there? Do I got something on me?
No, nothing. I can hear a lot right now. Perhaps it is the injury. I don't know what it is.
Conrad, do you have a cross on you?
Do I have a cross on me?
Make a luck roll.
I would.
You don't, for sure.
I do not. Oh, it was a fail. Sorry.
Yes. No, it's good. Keep it in universe. I like it. At this moment, however, these voices kind of carrying in the morning, I'm going to switch perspective and go across the pool into the mist. Laura, you are a bit disoriented and a bit confused as you sort of stagger into a dark wood. You entered mist, largely because it was there and you sort of were curious. You felt a bit of a compulsion based on all the things you'd seen and studied. It was strange, it was just rolling right down the street, but as you sort of sniff, you have a strange sensation that you are smelling something unlike anything you've ever smelled before. But then, you hear voices in the distance. I would like for you to make a spot hidden roll as you try to sort of look around. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll your D100, and we are comparing it against your spot hidden. That is in the fourth column over. For you, your score is a 75. So basically, we're going to see if you're under a 75.
64.
64. Wonderful. So that is a success. So you do manage to peer across, and you see, kind of through a rather thick copse of trees, there are three figures standing on the other side of a pool. Behind them is a large manor, not completely dissimilar from Blunderland, but it is a kind of in a Tudor style. They all appear to be humans, as far as you can tell at this distance. Maybe elves. So, what does Whiskerina do?
I want to scurry up, but stay hidden and try.
Understood.
And,
then in that case, please make a stealth roll.
And again, it's just the D100.
D100. You are trying to. It's the one right below spot hidden. You're trying to roll under a 20 this time.
Is 80.
An 80. So, and I forgot to mention, so go ahead and click the box next to spot hidden. Click that little checkbox, because you did succeed at that. But as you sort of leave the woods and try to scurry along the tree line, Conrad, your eyes detect movement in those woods. Sarah, you hear something. Siobhan, do you have either spot hidden or listen above 50? Or either of those over 50 for you? You may be more of a psychological person if memory serves.
Listen, yes.
Listen. So basically, Siobhan and Sarah Quill, you hear something in the woods, but Conrad, you look up, and what you see... Actually, tell you what, you see movement, make a spot hidden. Let's see how well you see it. You definitely see something. You need a hard to get details.
That is a hard success.
With a hard success as you look up, Conrad, moving through the trees. You see a creature out of nightmare. 3 feet tall, wearing clothes in some mockery of human form, is a rodent. Some beast walking around on hind legs. A nightmarish figure. You've never seen the like of it. And it is trying to sneak toward you all.
I pull out my gun. You need to back off.
I'll get behind Conrad.
Stop there. Stop right there.
Whiskerina, you know you've been detected.
Who are you?
What? Are you speaking? Are you talking?
Well, what does it sound like?
Why are you speaking to us? What?
Because he spoke to me.
Does anyone else hear this? Does anyone else hear this? Am I under a spell?
Yes, no, it's speaking English.
I prefer professor, not it.
Is this an ROUS?
Huh?
Strictly speaking, this would be.
I'm sorry, I just
ROUS.
realized that technically Whiskerina is an ROUS.
Whiskerina, are you basically, like, you were kind of like, we're gonna kind of
Yeah.
mess with the distance here. You sort of crept a good bit of the way, and they sort of found you once you were past the gazebo, the dread gazebo. So as you've been approaching, there still is a bit of sort of tree cover you could be in, where he can sort of see you. You've seen them and they've seen you, but you are currently not. You have a little bit of cover. Are you? What are you doing? Basically, you've been calling out, and there's a man now holding a gun. That's very familiar to you. They're not usually leveled at you, but you've seen them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like peeking out but staying somewhat covered.
Okay.
Because he seems threatening.
So in that case, I would like for Sarah Quill and Siobhan to both make spot hidden rolls.
Okay.
And Conrad, click your spot hidden if you haven't already.
Failed mine. That's a 91.
No joy.
Got a 54, which is a fail.
Understood. So neither of you can make out this shape, but you've certainly heard the voice. Something about it seems rather strange, but the way Conrad is acting, he looks scared. He looks deeply unsettled. He's got his gun out, probably shaking slightly in his hand. And in fact, Conrad, I meant to do this a second ago. I do need you to make a sanity roll.
I figured that was coming.
Yeah, it was, some movement was occurring here, but...
I don't remember where my Oh, that's a success.
A success, wonderful. You're familiar enough with these bizarre things that you have not sort of lost your mind at all. But You're still on the edge because you believe there is a monster in the woods who is now telling you that she is a professor.
I don't want you to come any closer, but...
Okay.
Professor of what? I mean, what? Why do you look that way? Are you
Conrad,
wearing a costume?
don't be rude.
No, it's a rat.
Don't be
Professor
rude.
of the theater.
Theater? Like Shakespeare theater?
Exactly.
What? She's a rat. She's a giant rat.
Well, stranger things have happened here.
I mean, some beings are not human.
What?
Would I have any knowledge of anything like
Go
this?
ahead and roll an occult on this.
See if I can roll something. 22. It's a fail. It's so close, but it's a fail.
Yes, you are unfamiliar with any stories of giant rat people. Now, you also have not seen it though, so I also actually, Siobhan, I'd like you to roll a psychology roll.
What did I get here? Psychology. Psych. Where are you? Ooh, 26. That is a success.
Conrad seems extremely agitated, and he seems to believe that there is a giant rat hiding in the forest.
Conrad, I think maybe you need to come back with us, have some tea.
There is no
down.
tea having right now. There is a giant...
Also, I'm not sure if going back to the house is quite the wisest decision right now.
Better than
What with the ghosts?
being out here. You... Show yourself. Show yourself, or I will shoot you.
Conrad.
Show yourself. Professor...
I walk out.
Oh!
And yeah, why don't you describe to them again kind of what Whiskerina... She could have done a costume change, by the way, here, so she might be in different garb if you'd prefer, or she can be in what she was last time.
Yeah, so I'm in like purple robes, but I've been traveling for a bit, so they're like very tattered and worn. I have like a bit of a like disheveled toupee wig thing going on with like bright red lipstick that looks like I applied it in the dark. And yeah, I'm a rat, like a middle-aged rat.
How tall are you approximately? I don't think I ever knew this.
Like 3 feet.
Yeah, she's
Right,
which is
yeah, 3 feet.
just on the taller side for a
Yeah.
sort of.
Listen,
she's
I'm
like
very proud of myself for calling her an ROUS out of game real fast, but there we go. I'm back.
But so I do at this point actually need Sarah Quill to make a sanity roll as well. Siobhan, I want you to make one too, but I want you to take a bonus on the roll. I want you to roll, so that means you're going to roll an extra D percentile, and you can use the lower.
23, and I survived.
You are not. Okay.
Hold on, let me check.
I don't think Siobhan's.
This was a sanity.
Yeah. Try to give her a bonus for various reasons.
I have to roll under my current sanity score.
You do. What'd you get?
No, I failed. I failed.
Okay. You
Sanity's
can push.
at a 16.
Yeah, you're in trouble. Now you can push it if you want to, but I mean.
Right,
What
I go
happens if I
insane
fail my
quite a
bonus
lot.
again?
Sarah Quill, upon seeing this, I do not roll max. However, you take 2 points from your sanity. Or not Sarah
does
Quill.
push
Sorry,
happen?
no, Sarah Quill. You're fine.
Oh,
You
how
passed
does-
Siobhan. You lose 2 from your sanity.
How does pushing work again? Because it's been a while.
You basically roll it again, and if you fail again, something bad happens.
Not gonna push it. I will take the 2 because I don't think I'm gonna roll under a 16.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a real the sanity situation is a real it's kind of a death spell.
I am teetering on the edge.
I do want to mention, by the way, just because one thing about it that Conrad and Siobhan may not know, and Laura may not be aware of this as well. We started last week at an 8 on the dread clock, And then a really, really cool Hall of Fame viewer named Book and Dagger said, "Hey, it's April Fool's Day. What if ones also count to advance the dread clock?" And I said, "You're a beautiful human being with an elegant soul."
He's being
Anyway, this is where we are.
Oh no.
When did this happen?
This is last
during
week.
my session.
Yes, Sarah Quill rolled
Rude.
5.
Rude.
Rolled 2 13s, 3 1s, and she did go out alone wearing a nightgown, so I kicked it back 1, but it's, yeah. So, in any case.
I should have gotten extra points because it was also raining, and I bet that nightgown was see-through.
That's kind of, it was a holistic point for that.
Okay.
In any event, as you all are standing there and looking at this rat-like humanoid who is speaking with an odd way of talking, but is entirely intelligible to you. And Siobhan, it is kind of upsetting for you to see a cryptid of this kind, even knowing that such things exist for very personal reasons. Conrad, and Sarah Quill, however, you are currently, fully in control of your... I mean, no one is out of control of their actions, but...
Not yet.
It's a strange thing.
I will... I'm not going to, try to push his arm down, but I will, sort of put my hand on Conrad's arm that's holding the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Just, and say, hello, Professor Mouse. I don't mean any harm. We have just had quite how many days have we been here? A week?
Oh, about a week at this point, yeah.
Quite a week here, so, unexpected things popping out. Unexpected Professor... I'm so sorry. What is your name? Is it Professor?
Yes, it's Professor Vizzini, and I'm a rat, not a mouse.
I do apologize. It's just that we've encountered several strange things here, several dangerous strange things, and we just are, out of abundance of caution, defending ourselves from a potential dangerous person rat.
Well, I'm not dangerous, that I know of.
See, Conrad, she's not dangerous.
What were you doing there in the bushes watching us then?
Well, I was, just seeing what you were doing.
Why?
Well, because I didn't know if you were going to shoot me.
I didn't have a gun before that. I mean, you
You're
didn't see my
American,
gun.
Conrad. You always have a gun.
Fair enough. But where'd you come from? From whence do you hail?
That was lovely, Conrad.
She's a professor of theater.
Yes.
Philip.
You can tell them, you can tell them that you're from Heisteles University.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a different world, or how did I get here?
Well, actually, oh yes, and I am so sorry. And this is kind of a bit of disorientation occurred here. I'll actually say in response to that question, I do want you to roll. This is at the bottom of your first column. Could you please roll a dread roll? Your score in this is not going to be high, but you do have a bit of a sense of it.
A 7.
You rolled a 7.
Yeah.
Professor, you have a 12 in that skill. So you understand from what you have witnessed in your time listening to that recording from Ignador, and your hearing about the forbidden play that was performed and all of these other means. Whiskerina, you understand that you are from a different domain than these people. you understand that you have passed through the mist, usually impenetrable. You took your opportunity as any brave star would do, and now you have passed through to a forest where strange creatures have never seen your like before. And they are sort of threatened by you and afraid of you. So, though you could tell them that you come from a city called Hysteles, if you want to do so, that is entirely up to you. So you basically, you're from a city called Hysteles. You can tell you are not there anymore. Like, you have been transported elsewhere completely. But...
Okay. And if I say Hysteles, will they know that I'm not, like, from around here? Or...
Excellent. That is something you probably don't know, because with a Dread Mythos score, I'll phrase it like this: you understand that this is very uncommon knowledge, but it is possible that were they to know you were from such a place, they might react with more antagonism. I'll tell you what, though. Look at near the bottom of your third column of skills. Make a psychology roll for me as you psych these people out, or kind of suss them out as you're sort of trying to determine what they might or might not understand.
23.
A 23 is in fact a hard success for you. So I think that you get the sense that these people have been dabbling with powerful things, so there is a slim possibility that if they hear that you're from Hysteles, they might immediately attack, recognizing the name. But there's also a possibility that hearing that, they will understand what is happening and maybe become less antagonistic.
Oh, okay, cool.
But you definitely get the sense that they know what's going on. So in other words, at the end of all those rolls, you basically have as little guidance as you had when you started. So apologies.
I'm from Hysteles University. I'm a professor there.
Oh, that sounds lovely. I've never heard of it, but I'm sure it's lovely.
Now, upon her saying that, Siobhan and Conrad. Conrad, do you have a dread score at the bottom of your first column?
It's a 0.
Okay. Siobhan, please make a dread roll.
Alright, I was about to say. That's a fail.
That being said, I would like both of you to also make a no roll. Would Conrad and Siobhan, Sarah, you cannot do this, you were asleep in a bed. Could Conrad and Siobhan both roll intelligence rolls? These are the sort of orange boxes way at the top of the sheet. This is one of your attributes. A success on this, you do require a hard success, so you will need under half your score.
Just a success.
Okay.
Ooh, for intelligence?
For intelligence.
16! That's a hard success.
A hard success. Wonderful. Unfortunately, you cannot click the intelligence box, but very good to know. So, Siobhan, you hear her say Hysteles, and you know that you saw that word somewhere on the text of the tear-stained diamond that Rawlings and Sister Mercy were so taken with.
I saw that somewhere. Wait. Tear-Stained Diamond was a book, right?
It was a text of a play or of a musical.
Okay. I saw that in a book for a musical. Are you a performer? Are you in costume? Is that what this is?
No, I teach there. Shakespeare specifically.
I know him.
So you're
Ellie.
Oh no, from the theater.
I feel like this is maybe she's some form of acting that they'll coin a term for in the future, where you never leave your character.
As if they're using a very specific method. Like they've
Yes!
chosen a method
Yes,
by which.
a very specific method. No, I've read of Hysteles, but it was in a book about a fiction. It was a fiction. It was not a real place.
Well, I can confirm that it's quite real.
Do I believe her?
I will say that based on having seen that tome and understanding how crazy it made the other two, you, if memory serves, Siobhan, you understood a little bit about the idea of separate domains, but I don't think you had gone as deep in that. So we can kind of say that upon hearing this now, the idea that there are more domains out there, kind of sort of what Sister Mercy and Rawlings were saying, you now think that has a little more truth to it. Siobhan, please make a power roll.
Well, on that one, but let's see what my power score is.
Yours was pretty high, but you have
Where's
spent some
power?
of it.
Very, very top.
It's at the top. It's the
Tippy toppy. There it is. Oh, that is a hard success because I rolled a
with a
26.
hard success. Very good. Understanding this new bit of information about how things fit together, give yourself another 7 points of dread mythos.
Ooh.
And reduce your sanity accordingly.
Oh.
By 7?
Mhm.
No, I don't want to.
Oh, you know what? It really only detracts from your maximum, so we'll say you don't lose any. That's fine.
So by 7, so
So
it
you-
detracts from my max for my sanity,
It
not my
should
actual
automatically do that.
score? Oh, okay. All
That
right.
should be an auto calc.
I thought I had to. It was like you're literally cutting it in half by 50%
No,
if
no,
I
no.
do that.
No, that's fine. But you understand. You won't go down by that.
Okay.
I think
so
it
I
should work
understand
that way. I think
she's
it's
from
darker. But
another
you
domain.
are now confident in the idea that she is from somewhere else, much the way Sister Mercy was always talking about these mists that must defend us. She must have somehow walked through them. And in fact, as you look ahead across the pool, you do see that the mists there are gray purple thick. And even at this distance, they're sickly sweet with a copper aftertaste you can just barely sense.
So, Conrad, Seroquel, you know how there are different realms on this earth, right? There's land and air and ocean. And there's life that exists in all of them.
Yes.
There are also different realms separated by spirit that we cannot see.
The spirit realm. I've read about those in romance novels, the paranormal ones.
Sort of like that. I believe. What was your name again, dear?
Professor Vizzini.
I believe Professor Vizzini is from another one of these realms that we do not normally see. But something came down or ripped or tore, and now she's here.
What happened to your realm? Why did you come here?
I'm not really sure.
What do you remember right before you got here?
Whiskerina, let's make a
Yes.
no roll. So please go up to the top of your sheet and roll an intelligence roll. Your score in that is a 70.
91.
91. Whiskerina, in that case, this actually makes things easy for both of us. Well, easier for you, and I'll fill some things in at some point, I guess. Whiskerina. The last thing you remember is gorging yourself on a lobster woman named Thermidora and wandering off into the rain in shame. And everything after that was a blur. You have a vague sense of someone talking to you, and then you saw mist, and you stepped into it and found yourself in this forest. So the last thing you remember was your time with Thermidora, and how sweet and buttery it tasted to consume every scrap of her tail.
The last thing I remember was having a very good meal and then walking into the rain, and that's it.
Oh, interesting.
I will also mention, however, Whiskerina, that probably you have been a little, dulled and confused. You have a lot of powers available to you.
Right.
Hopefully some of them, to some degree, have translated over in this place. If you were to scroll down and kind of over on the left, you do have a few spells available. The first of them is a more sort of offensive thing, which you probably wouldn't use now. But the second one could potentially have stuff, although it's costly. The third one, however, is a feature that you would use very often. And that is certainly something that you are capable of doing. Your third spell there called Sea Ghosts. So if you want to reach out to Beyond, just let me know that you can attempt to do that whenever you wish.
Okay, and I could ask them how I got here.
You could potentially gain some additional information, which is how it works in Heistales.
Okay. And the cost is 1d4
The cost
sanity.
would
What
be,
is the cost?
I will roll a d4, you will lose that many sanity points, you will spend 2 of your magic points, and then
How many
for a
magic
minute,
points do I have?
you can witness all the ghosts around you.
Do I get magic points back?
You get 1 magic point back every hour.
Okay. Sure, I'll do it.
Wonderful. So, you guys sort of see that Whiskerina is there looking not completely certain. She kind of closes her eyes, begins a strange trance. Conrad, do you still have your gun on her?
I've let it down a little bit.
Whatever she's doing might cause you to raise it again, just in case she's doing some strange conjuration. So you take 3 points of sanity lost, so please deduct that from your sanity up at the top. Though currently you have 82, so you're fine. I believe Siobhan currently has 14 or something.
Yeah, I'm at 14 for sanity.
I am talking to
Not looking
Whiskerina.
good.
Whiskerina.
Whiskerina, deduct 3 from your sanity, dropping you down to 90 or 79. Please deduct 2 from your magic points. As you
Can you get sanity back?
You can get sanity back, yes.
Okay.
As you sort of reach out, closing your eyes. Whiskerina, when you open your eyes, you've never seen so many ghosts. This place is flooded with them. This is a ghostly world, and you are standing next to a pool that is almost blindingly bright with undead spirits. The concentration of them there is overwhelming and overpowering. Standing right behind sort of these other people is this hulking man, his throat slashed, just glaring sort of down at Sarah Quill. You see another powerful figure sort of up in a window above. You sort of glance across the pool and you see this stately judge-like figure. It's strange. Something about him feels important, but he's very far, but shining very brightly in some context. But more powerful than any of these is within that dark pool below. You see a horse. Whiskerina, I do need you to now make a sanity roll.
74.
A 74 is a success. So, you lose 4 points of sanity.
What?
But despite this overwhelming power, you are a spirit medium, and as such, you are able to resist being sort of driven mad by these many spirits around. You have the capability, it's really very similar to how the feature worked for you back home. You know that you can reach out telepathically to any of these ghosts sort of who are nearer to you. But I mean, it is, you can't even see the sky, there are so many of them hovering. This place is a ghost trap. there are souls here in a number you've never imagined before. It is like, even though you're resisting it, it is slowly driving you insane. Just the latent understanding of what's going on here. This is deeply overwhelming and horrible. Nevertheless, you can continue speaking to these people, and you can reach out telepathically to any of these spirits that you see.
Okay. I'll just can I just reach out kind of like in general to the ones closest to me?
Absolutely. What do you say?
Hello. Does anyone know how exactly I got here, or there's quite a lot of you. Does anyone know anything about Heisteles or how one would get to your world?
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
So one of the things that happened was one of the old Master Craven Gates died when old Ben Charm, and Laura just doesn't know any of this, so oh dear. So Whiskerina, when you sort of say Heisteles in this, you hear some of this susurrus of these ghostly voices going, 6 pence ahead, 6 pence ahead, 6 pence ahead. And then one of them begins to sort of sing a dark song in this voice. And it's interesting, Whiskerina, because you know this song. You've heard it 1,000 times at weird, boring recitals. If you really got a price where you would pack it in, then let me tell you, buddy, your life ain't worth a fin. Oh, you are one pathetic so-and-so. A real sad piece of work. I ought to shoot you in the guts to watch you bleed to death, you jerk. And yet, Whiskerina, in this place, what was typically an anodyne, overperformed piece of pablum, has a dark, powerful undercurrent, as the score is worth more is being sung by some of the ghosts around you. Nevertheless, you are so familiar with this song, and it is from your own realm, that as you now make a power roll, you are going to get 2 bonuses on the power roll. So what I need you to do is pick up your percentile die, this one that has the 10 columns, and roll that 3 times, and you will use the lowest one.
Okay. $40.
Okay, roll again. Or you already did it?
I did 80, 80, 40.
Great. Now roll this guy.
Just did this.
Oh my gosh, you need a 1 or a 0 on this.
Oh, good lord. A 1!
A 1. You have rolled your exact hard power success.
OMG.
Yeah. So Whiskerina, as they begin to sing, the score is worth more than a walk in the park or a kiss in the dark. The score is worth more. The score is worth more than a big birthday cake or a copper on the take. Yeah, the score is worth more. Sarah, Quill, Conrad, and Siobhan, as these ghosts are singing this, all of you experience a chill of disquiet. You cannot hear these words, but it feels like someone is walking on your grave. Whiskerina, you resist the powerful urge to do yourself harm and to be overtaken by these words. as you are familiar with them. I think that you learn two things from that. One is that art, as you've always been saying, is the most powerful thing in the world. So it's very possible that the art of one domain may have different powers in another. Two, you suspect that Hysteles has been connected to Merkshire in a deep way, because so many of these ghosts are chanting this song. They have had some connection to your home. As you resist that dark singing, there is this sort of one ghost whose voice kind of calls out to you, and it's almost hard for you to even tell where it's coming from. Meanwhile, Sarah, Quill, Conrad, and Siobhan, you're just watching as she's doing this and like gasping, and you all feel really uncomfortable. Whiskerina, one voice says to you, calling out. You're not from around here, but I doubt there's any going back for you. Don't stir things up, and you might survive a little longer.
That's lovely.
I'm so glad you see it that way. And then the voice says, sort of softly, if the girl in the nightgown, one of these women here, Sarah Quill, is wearing a nightgown, Whiskerina, if the girl in the nightgown tries to drink anyone else's blood, you should kill her in her sleep for her own good.
Oh no. None of us have any idea this happened.
Nope, it's all telepathic. But basically, Whiskerina will say that that is the extent of your sort of minute long. You've been attacked by this singing. You ask this question, and they suggest that you should kill that girl for her own good if she tries to drink anyone else's blood.
And we've just been sitting here watching for a minute.
Yeah, just
as she trips out.
She's having this very frightening thing.
Yeah, and then they just come back.
What type of witchcraft are you doing over there?
No. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Sorry, old age, I just space out sometimes.
Well, sometimes when people here stare off into space, the madness has gotten them. You don't feel mad, do you?
No.
Okay, that's good.
I don't know if
feeling madness and being mad is not always the same thing.
Temporary madness. What, Conrad?
I don't know if I trust her. Professor, what's the most important thing in your life? Tell me right now.
That's easy. The theater.
The theater. I guess that's pretty benign.
I've seen that coming.
What would your best friend say about you?
Oh, well, he would probably not admit to being my best friend, and he'd say I was annoying.
Know how that feels?
I guess that's kind of sad. How am I feeling about Whiskerina? Is that up to me, or?
Why don't you make a psychology roll? We'll see if you kind of are getting any good insights, but otherwise...
Poor Sarah. Every time I say something...
What's 0, 0, 0? Zero, all zeros.
All zeros is congratulations, you have rolled a fumble. So Stuff's got to get that. So Conrad, and you can't re-roll those, you can't push, just a fumble happens. Cool, tight, happy Halloween. Conrad, this is a monster, you need to kill it. Now, I am not compelling you to do that. I'm not saying you have to do it now, but your psychological read on this being is it is a monster. It has come to kill you, just like all these ghosts. Sarah Quill, like bad stuff is happening. You are not under a compulsion to murder it, but this thing is lying to you and it will kill you as soon as it gets a chance.
I still don't trust you.
Conrad.
Do I have any insight into what's happening with either of these people?
Make a psychology roll. Please roll another 100, because that would just be Christmas for
Oh my
me.
god.
This is
Please roll a what?
Just roll 100.
No,
It's a
I
fun
don't want to. I don't wanna. What happens if I roll 100?
Something great.
No, I don't believe you at all.
It's fair.
Oh, I rolled a 30, which is a success.
A 30. Great. You get the feeling that Conrad is, and it's also one of those things where like Conrad is, he's literally not possessed by anything. That's why he's not forced to shoot the rat now. That would be more fun for me. No, Conrad is simply like just so overwhelmed by all these things that upon seeing this monstrous form, he just doesn't trust it. He thinks your explanation about there being other worlds that work to Sarah Quill, Conrad is clearly just a more sort of, physically minded person, and he's like, he just doesn't trust this thing. He thinks it wishes.
American, you don't know what you're looking at, you just want to shoot it.
Yes, and Conrad, we've all done things and been in a certain state where we've all made mistakes, and we all deserve to have a second chance to get to know one another.
Conrad, are you a religious man?
I've been to church a few times, but this is not what this is about.
It is a bit. If you believe in the idea that there are things that you cannot see, cannot touch, that exist, there are things we have not seen on or heard of on this earth or outside of it, and you cannot judge them from...
I will say, we have encountered several human beings who have not been very trustworthy. We cannot assume that she is untrustworthy just because she is a rat. I'm so sorry, Professor. A rat. A large one. A beautiful one. You're very beautiful. I love your clothes. I don't want to insult you in any way. Conrad, we should just be kind to her because we all deserve kindness, don't we?
Don't let her get behind your back. Rats carry the plague.
Actually, they found that was hamsters, not rats.
I thought it was the fleas.
One of these things. And in any event, it was humans engaging in biological warfare. So you see, humans are the real villain here.
Sarah Quill.
Are they persuading me in any way?
Why
here,
don't you
or-
both try to roll charm or persuade rolls? Your choice.
Okay. I don't feel like any of this is gonna work, but we'll
Wait,
try.
do we have charm?
Yes.
It is either you can use charm or persuade.
I'll definitely be rolling for charm because
I will use charm as well.
These girls are like, Conrad, you're so crazy. Come on.
84, which is
so
just
close, but I failed. 58.
With a regular success and a failure, you're not under any compulsion. You have not been swayed in your belief. You certainly are willing to not shoot this thing right now. But you don't trust this Professor Vizzini any more than you did before.
Well, I put the gun down. I still don't trust you.
You can keep an eye on her. That doesn't mean you have to constantly point your gun.
It's gone.
Let's see.
Why don't we get out of
Sarah
here?
Quill
Yes.
and Siobhan and Whiskerina all hear some footsteps approaching from within the house.
Oh dear.
Siobhan, you look.
Recognize the cadence of the footsteps and know who it is?
Actually, you would, because of all of like the weird glances. This is Master Craven Kate. And he and kind of also, by the way, it's been raining this whole morning. So like you guys are having this whole conversation out in the rain, because obviously. So basically,
So he's emerging like with a soaked,
He's kind
wet
of coming
shirt.
from the thing, and Craven Gate, like he's unshaved, has like a couple like dark circles under his eyes. He's been feeling weird, just like wandering the grounds at night. But he sort of like staggers out and says, "Laura, Siobhan, are you? I heard there was something." And he sort of looks up. I make a spot hidden roll. Let's see if he even notices the rat person. He pauses. Are you Lorelei or Siobhan? He says to you. Is this a dream? Am I really seeing you?
This is Siobhan.
Yes,
You're Siobhan, not Lorelei.
I'm Siobhan, not Lorelei.
He sort of like looks at you with this sort of sadness and longing for a moment. Forgive me for my confusions.
It's all right. You seem tired.
I'm seeing many things. He stares past you at Whiskerina. I came out here, they said that Miss Quill was out of sorts. He looks at Sarah.
Well, Master Cravengate, I feel that we have all been out of sorts these past 12 hours or so. Wouldn't you say?
He turns away. He puts like a hand on Siobhan's shoulder for a second. You're going to catch your death in this cold. You're not cold at all. Strange.
Accustomed to the rain, water.
He sort of turns and takes a few steps towards Whiskerina, and then he kneels down, kind of like stares in her eyes, and there's this haunted, kind of almost husk of a man, probably very handsome and Byronic at times, but right now, more ironic than Byronic, am I right, ladies? Okay. Anyway, he looks at you, Whiskerina, and says, "You I don't remember. Were you one of the dolls for the nursery? Come to life? A mouse to play with painted lips and purple robes, a friend for a child never to be born? Were you one of the dolls? The red-haired girls and the little lambs? You're muted. Your lips are moving, but I don't hear what you say.
What are you talking about?
It speaks, my God, it speaks. Doll. A great big toy. Furry.
Huh?
Why do you mock the things that are never to be? Every apparition is stranger and more ghastly than the last. Does she want me to die? Is that what she wants? Speak again, doll.
Craven Gate, what are you talking about?
Forgive me, I'm seeing things again. He sort of stands up and turns away from Whiskerina as if she's not there. If Sarah Quill is all right, then my duties as a host continue to be the minimal, passable amount that I can do. I beg your forgiveness. I appreciate your company. Why isn't the girl diving? Why isn't the girl diving?
She...
It's not safe.
Craven Gate,
Siobhan.
did you have your...
You know it's not safe.
Siobhan, you're right. Forgive me.
And it's very cruel of you to expect her to when you know it's not safe.
I forget things. Do you think I'll ever remember?
It's better if you don't.
I would take my life, but for knowing that I wouldn't go anywhere.
Seems to be getting a little heavy here. You doing okay, Craven Gate? Did you have your porridge this morning?
Leave it to the American to break the tension.
There is breakfast in there for those of you who've not eaten. They said something happened with Sarah Quill. Siobhan, forgive me, forgive me. It would have been better for you had I never found you. There by the pool, diving after my diving. I haven't wanted any of this to happen. I'm going to go look at that flower again. It's been doing the strangest things this morning.
Oh, no,
Flower
perhaps
might
it
be
isn't
safe.
Perhaps it isn't the weather for gardening.
It's
Mr.
inside,
Craven.
Miss Quill. It's in a case. In the library. It's what you came here
Perhaps
to look at, don't you remember?
You should get some sleep, some rest.
Yes.
She comes to me in my
Forget
sleep,
the
Siobhan,
flower.
but she wears your face. Enjoy the morning. He walks back into the house.
Wait.
He's got quite an energy about him. Seems to be getting a little weirder these days.
There's something happening. Last night, or early this morning, technically, Master Cravengate and Polly were both out of their minds in a way. They couldn't recognize me, they couldn't recognize what was going on. And I think it was a separate type of madness than what I was experiencing because I knew what was going on and I, to an extent, chose to. There's something strange going on and there's something strange happening to them. And I don't know what's causing it.
But Cravengate is out of his mind with grief, but Polly, I'm trying to protect her from... She mustn't go back in the lake.
Well, clearly, I mean, there's...
Whiskerina, I would like to point out that you, when you could see ghosts, saw that that lake was effectively radioactive with ghosts. And you're now hearing them talking about some girl who's been diving in it.
Oh, grody.
Ghosts! Nasty!
Grody ghosts.
Ugh. So you can share information with them if you want, but basically, yeah. Anyway, continue. Sorry, just I'm letting you draw that conclusion. Yeah, continue.
Oh, cool.
She mustn't go back in the water. It's not safe.
I mean,
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
what do you know about the water?
It just, I wouldn't swim in it.
No, why?
It's just, it looks gross.
What is... Wait, would I know the word gross? I don't know
I
what...
think, sure, we'll say colloquially, you'd understand.
Okay.
Meaning.
Well, yes, it's gross.
You mean it's massive?
Sure.
We've had people go in and never come back.
Yeah.
That's why I wouldn't do it.
Yes. It's...
What do y'all think happened to Sister Mercy and the gang?
It happened one
Like,
day.
I know exactly what happened.
Whiskerina, that is a name that you have recently heard,
Yeah.
for you ate a lobster lady with her.
Yeah, we did.
Who are those people? Oh, Sister Mercy. She helped to tend to my wounds. I was injured a few days ago, and then
Rollin,
I don't know what happened to them. I was concussed and asleep, I think.
they sang a song or so. We stuffed our ears with wax, and then they kind of disappeared. Right out here.
Do we remember clearly, or is it hazy for us?
It's not hazy for you at all.
Okay.
That was
So we remember that we
you
did the song
remember
and we
that insanity? You remember them singing, then running off, and then Dowell, we did God knows what. And Conrad, you remember Dowell dying a couple days ago. He went in that bathtub and said he was watching a lady take a bath or something. Who knows what the hell that was about.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. And you told him not to go in the tub, and he disappeared, and you assume he's down there too. But Siobhan, actually, yeah, you don't know any about that. You were watching after Sarah. You were on Sarah Quill duty when the Rawlings insanity happened. Yeah. So, what was the question? These games have so much going on.
I don't remember what the question was.
Should we?
Do we?
If we remember
that those events? So I was not present, so I don't know.
No, but you do remember all of the singing and them running off and disappearing.
Yes.
You stuffed you remember that perfectly.
I don't remember them disappearing. I remember the singing and the wax and. Well, perhaps they're back at the house.
Maybe they're in that lake.
I should clarify that. Sorry, you know they like took their belongings and got a carriage and left town. They departed. You know they left the grounds. Yes.
All right, so they're no longer here. They abandoned the grounds. Rawlings abandoned the party. Sister Mercy.
Oh, well, that's a shame. I rather liked her. She helped quite a bit with my head.
She had a habit of doing that.
That comment about a habit, Whiskerina, makes you even more certain they're talking about the same person.
I understood that joke. Because nuns wear a habit, you see. Professor, did you understand that joke?
Yes.
Okay, because I would be happy to explain it to you if you'd like.
I'm good.
Okay. That is very funny.
Thank you.
Why are we standing in this rain? I mean, maybe we should...
Because it's traumatic. I mean, I like the water, but perhaps we should go back to the home.
Well, and also, I did happen to... sorry, just to clarify, John Hall was in the house chasing me out, right? So as far as I know, he's still in the house, or...
No, he he was right on your tail, and as soon as you saw them, he disappeared.
Okay. But it started in the house, right? Because he was up on the stairs?
It started out the door that you came out of, yeah. He was rushing up to that door, and you felt him even right behind you, but as soon as they talked, he disappeared. And that seems to happen with these ghosts. They're there a minute and then,
Okay. Yes, perhaps we should go back for breakfast, and Professor, you are more than welcome to join us. However, I will say there were some peculiar things that I saw, such as a dead former best friend of mine. Well, he is still best friend, even in death. However, I saw a very best friend who was trying to, I believe, have me join him in the spirit realm, as you were talking about, Siobhan. So we may want to be careful entering the house again, and perhaps walking anywhere outside of the vicinity of this little group that we have created. It's been a very difficult morning.
Seeing ghosts in there?
John Ho.
Oh, John. Yeah, that one brings up some pretty horrific memories. But
Professor, this was one of my very best friends who had a very untimely death, and it seems that he did not find peace in his afterlife, and he decided to run after me after I made some peculiar decisions. And I'm not quite sure why, but we have friends in the afterlife who tend to stick around, and they tend to not be very nice in spite of their kindness in life. So just letting you know, you may see one of our very best friends around, sort of see-through perhaps, maybe dead looking.
The house is haunted, is what she's trying to say.
Ghosts.
Lovely.
Well, let's go to breakfast, and I'll like clasp onto Conrad's arm, wanting some semblance of like safety.
Okay. So you guys are going to go back into the breakfast room, bringing Whiskerina Vizzini Giant Mall with you.
Yep.
And you guys enter the house, close the door behind you.
I'm sorry, can I really quick pull Conrad and say, all things considered about what happened this morning between me and Polly, she may be very upset with me, and I would just like to say that I did not intend to harm her. I did intend to help her. It just went differently than I had intended in my head.
Fine, don't worry about it. It's
That's
fine.
right.
We all make mistakes.
Can I attempt to get Sarah Quill in front of a mirror at some point?
Easily done. Certainly, there's plenty of mirrors in the house. You could even do that in the breakfast room if you'd like.
This is gonna end up.
All right, so you guys enter the breakfast room. There is still a spread of breakfast out. You do see a little bit of there's like a place where there's like a slightly broken plate. A couple of the chairs have been pushed back. No one's kind of been in here since Sarah Quill, licked Polly's bloody hand and then tried to suck out some more. But as you all sort of stand in here, there's a breakfast that's probably only like 10-15 minutes, sort of cold. Whiskerina sitting in a chair at the table is a little boy in old-fashioned clothing, who's just staring at the food and like licking his lips.
Oh no.
Is there anything like strange about him that I noticed?
He's the only person in the room. His clothing seems a little bit more old-fashioned than what the three people here are wearing.
Do any of the rest of us see this child?
Okay.
You do not.
Oh, it's a ghost. Great. Cool. Good. Awesome.
So, belly up to the bar. Why don't we eat?
Okay. So Conrad and Sarah and Siobhan, do you all sort of sit down and start getting food?
Yeah, but have I noticed Sarah pass in front of any mirrors?
Make a spot hidden roll.
Ooh, this is close. Success.
Regular success.
Regular.
She casts a reflection. And with a regular success, you see nothing weird about it. But what Whiskerina sees is this little boy just licking his lips like a fucking weirdo. He's probably like 5. But the rest of you will sort of we'll see what she does in a moment. What do the rest of you do? Siobhan, she has a
I mean, I'll begin eating. Is there any smoked salmon on the table?
roll a luck roll for that. They know you like it, but supplies may be dwindling because they're down a footman and things are weird.
There's
I will just-
my luck.
I
Oh
will
yeah,
grab,
that
like-
is definitely a success.
Then, as it happens, there is still smoked salmon for you.
I will just get like a pastry, nothing red. Just
Nothing that was
avoiding all red. And
no
I will,
raspberry.
No raspberry.
Danish is-
Raspberry
No,
jam.
no, thank you. No, thank you. I will sit next to Conrad. I will just be like basically velcroed to Conrad's shoulder.
That's just so interesting because I believe you downgraded him from best friend to very good friend.
Well, you can trust very good friends as well.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh,
Where do you
Everyone
rank?
deserves-
Where do you rank Whiskerina, by the way?
She is a friend, but we have not talked or conversed enough for me to determine
friendly
her
friend.
rank
Mm-hmm. Understood.
quite yet.
Is Siobhan still a best friend?
Yes, of course.
Alright.
Siobhan is probably number one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Shot's like, all forgiven.
Dunhole is dead, so he's gone.
So.
It was a vacancy. By
And the
yes.
judge, he was probably one of your best friends, but now he's dead.
That's just one of my
Whiskerina,
best
you've
friends, not
entered
very
this
best.
room, and there's a little boy sitting at the end of the table, licking his lips. 5 years old in old-fashioned garb, as Siobhan and Sarah Quill and Conrad simply grab plates, paying him no mind. What are you doing? Are you also going to get some food? The spread looks kind of like a sort of, actually pretty good compared to the food you would eat in like some diner.
Okay.
Fully
I'll keep an
washed.
eye. I want to keep an eye on the boy and then grab food.
As you begin to grab food, he looks at you and goes, it's a blimey rat.
What?
Oh, you're a blimey rat.
Yes. People are very struck by that here.
The rest of you hear her talking to an empty chair at the end of the table. Are they gonna eat you?
Excuse me?
Are they gonna
You're gonna eat.
I'm not. Are they gonna eat you?
No, I don't think so.
Do you want to
You
play
don't-
do you want to play a game with me?
What game?
Yeah. It's called Round the House.
Well, how do you play?
You run round the house, and whoever's swiftest wins, and whoever's slowest gets hit with a switch.
That doesn't sound like much fun.
Yeah, okay. Are you gonna eat your food and I'll watch you eat it? I'm very hungry.
Well, I'm very hungry too, so I feel like I have no choice.
That's nice, rat. Are you dead too, rat?
No.
Are you a demon out of damnation?
No.
Are
Are you?
No, I'm no demon. I'm a little boy. My name is Yarbrough. Who was you called?
I'm Professor Vizzini.
Oh, you're fancy, aren't you? Fancy rat. I'm gonna play around the house. And he jumps up and runs out of the room
Okay.
as fast as he can. The rest of you.
I just go back
Did
to
we notice her talking to someone we couldn't see?
Yeah.
Sir, are you feeling quite all right? I know that this estate can have quite an effect on people, and I suppose now rat people as well. Who were you talking to? Because, there is no one there.
Oh, of course. I just like to rehearse plays in my mind
What?
out loud sometimes.
Oh, what play was that?
Oh well, it's when I'm writing.
Oh,
You know,
how
to get
lovely.
the creative juices going.
Yes.
I
Well,
believe her.
yeah.
You could roll. You guys can roll psychology rolls. Whiskerina, make a fast talk roll.
Okay.
Psychology.
Uh,
I rolled a 9.
3.
Great. 3.
8.
Whiskerina rolled a 3.
No, damn it!
Oh, I'm so
9 is not a supreme success. What is it?
Hard. It's a blue.
Hard.
Extreme.
Extreme.
You have an
My
extreme.
Psychology
Yes.
is 36, and I rolled a 38.
All right, so Siobhan, you sense no deception on her part. Sarah Quill, here's the best part. So you rolled an extreme.
Yes.
Whiskerina's also rolled an extreme, and the tie goes to the status quo, so you sense no deception on her part.
Oh, damn it.
Oh shit!
Damn it.
You still get to check the box.
In this case, sure, actually. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for reminding me.
So yeah, Whiskerina, check your fast talk box.
Oh, cool.
Check your boxes. That's what he's.
He really never did.
Y'all can't take my ass anywhere. I'm sorry.
I mean, we're very happy to. With
Well, that sounds like a wonderful play, and I would like to see it. However, I would recommend that you rehearse it in front of a mirror, or perhaps holding the script, because around here, talking to nothing and talking to an empty chair is cause for concern.
Oh, noted.
Yes, no judgment at all. It's just, it was strange things happen here, so we have to just make sure that nothing untoward is happening. And I'll just she'll stuff a pastry in her mouth just to quiet herself.
So interesting, Sarah Quill. You pulled some pastry that was, blueberry or cheese Danish or something, but you bite into it, and as you take a bite, Whiskerina and Siobhan and Conrad see nothing but bright red raspberry filling on her mouth. As she sort of and just continues eating it. But there's this moment of bloodlust in her, or on her face, rather. Breakfast passes without further incident, unless there's any subjects anyone wants to specifically broach. Otherwise, you guys can just gobble down some whatever blood sausage and would they be having beans at this point? I'm not sure that the
Beans
whole
on toast.
beans. I don't know if the beans thing happened until World War II, honestly. But as you guys sort of enjoy a nice English breakfast, outside the rain continues. There is now a Ratfolk among your number, so far seen only by the master of the house, who thought her a toy of some kind, a figment of his imagination. Sarah Quill, that reminds you of another toy you saw recently. Pops back into your mind.
Apologies, y'all. He wanted attention.
No worries. But if you're all sort of we're at an awkward time in which, if I start something else, this will go on a while. And it seems like you're all simply sort of taking what measure you have. I think we're going to call it a somewhat early night tonight.
Oh, wow.
As you finish your breakfast, now with a new visitor amongst you, Whiskerina will end on this image of you sort of looking around this breakfast room. You glance at the doorway leading in and passing against it, wearing a very nice dress, pale skin, long black hair, with a necklace, is an incredibly beautiful, sad woman, carrying a book bound in leather, with the letters X, I, on the front. She looks at you for a moment and sees you looking back. She inclines her head towards Sarah Quill, and you get a sense that this is the voice you heard outside. This is the ghost who told you what to watch out for and how to survive. With a smile, she continues on her way, unseen by anyone else. And that is where we'll end tonight's session of Blood from a Stone.
Oh no.
Scared!
At least you're at full hit points.
Next time!
Thank you all so much. So, because we're all here and having a great time, let's try to roll some improvements. So, Whiskerina, let's actually start with you. Let's see. I know that you made a fast talk roll. So when you do these rolling for improvements, it actually goes opposite. And I'll also say to Siobhan, Conrad, and Sarah Quill, if you guys want to just go ahead and roll and see what you get and kind of let us know what you improve, I'm happy to do it like one at a time, but we can also just kind of do it as a group here.
Can you do a real quick primer on how this works again?
Absolutely, I will do that. We'll do that, and then you guys can do it after. So here's how it works. This is the one time in the game you do want to roll high. So Whiskerina, if you can grab your D100, we're going to do one on your fast talk, which you succeeded at. Your fast talk score is 75. You want to now roll over a 75. And if you do so, you're actually going to improve it a little bit. So go ahead and roll your D100.
99.
A 99. Way to go, champ. All right. With that, Whiskerina, I would like for you to please take your D13 and roll it.
Nice.
4.
Add 4 to your fast talk score. So where it says 75, just type in 79 instead. Basically, the idea of this game is that by doing things, you improve your ability. When you succeed at things, you improve doing them, and then unclick the box.
Unclick the box? Okay.
Unclick the box. The next thing that you succeeded at, I think you also succeeded at 1 listen roll, so go ahead and roll a listen for me.
Wait, do you have to like hard succeed or regular?
No, just
Sorry.
regular. No, it's not. You're not trying to succeed. You're trying to roll over the number.
No, I know, but when you check the box, you have to like hard succeed, right?
No, any success, as long as you don't use luck and you don't push it.
Why did I think it was something else?
I cannot tell you this.
I've been playing this.
So
for
what did
so
you roll
long.
this time, Whiskerina?
82.
82. So again, roll your D13.
4 again.
4 again. Great. So give yourself another 9 in listen, and then try it one more time. In you also succeeded at a spot hidden. You did not succeed at a stealth because oh my god, they all saw you. But yeah. Has anybody else started these? You can also just wait and we'll do all of them.
Yeah, I just did mine.
Did you succeed? Did you improve anything?
I succeeded at all 3.
Did you roll 13s on any of your D13s?
No.
Well then, what good are you?
Sorry,
Whiskerina.
alas.
What'd you roll this
36.
time? 36, yeah, you do not improve that one. Because you rolled under. It's the only time in the game you want to roll high. Conrad, how are you doing?
I failed on my spot hidden, so I didn't do it. But are we rolling for? I can't remember rolling. If we did a sanity.
Sanity,
Well,
you do not improve sanity.
okay,
at this
that's
point,
right.
no. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the only. I only did a spot hidden, but I didn't get it.
Understood. And then Sarah Quill?
I mean, I succeeded in charm, but that's a given.
So roll the charm.
No, because I have a 102.
Yeah, but you have a 102 because you already. So if you roll a 100
Oh.
right now, you get to improve it.
I rolled a 63,
So
so
you
no.
do not get to improve it. And also you have to roll because if you roll a 13, I'll get to advance the Doom Clock.
And I rolled psychology, but I got an 80 something, which fails.
It was under it. Okay, perfect. Well, with that case, we have rolled for our improvements this week. So yeah, go ahead and unclick all your boxes. Well done, everyone. some real fun stuff. What do you think of this system? You've played it a little bit before, right? You said, Laura, you've done some.
Yeah, no, I
Call of
like it.
Cthulhu. Yeah,
I've done a little bit.
Something about it just I feel like people pick it up pretty fast. It kind of goes quicker. It's a little clearer. Well, that was super fun. I want to thank all of you for playing. I know we want to thank. I saw in the corner of my eye a chat thing. Zane, do I?
Shout out Minnesota Twins, giving a 1 month tier 1 gift sub.
Oh, thank you so much
Shout
for doing
out,
that. That's
friend.
so kind of you.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's number one because he doesn't suggest ways to advance the dread clock.
There's
Yeah.
many ways.
I will say.
There are many ways people can get into the Hall of Fame. Some people get into the Hall of Fame by giving away tons of subs. Some people get into the Hall of Fame by giving amazing ideas for how to harm everyone. Some people get in the Hall of Fame by doing both of those things. Some rocky jumpers get into the Hall of Fame by doing nothing at all.
That is true.
So thank you all so much for watching. This was super fun. If you like what we do, please follow our channel or subscribe. You can get a free subscription if you link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account and all that good stuff, but you have to renew those because you only get those for a month at a time. It's real weird. Don't know why they do it that way. Also, we have other shows. If you like dragon stuff, we are coming to the end of the first sort of like season or sort of section of Here Be Dragons. That is on Sundays at 7 p.m. Our dragons are currently also in a domain of dread, but not one here in the Blood from a Stone universe, kind of in a more traditional D&D milieu. On Mondays, we have Temple Flight, which is also coming to the end of its current sort of mini-series, as some crazy things have happened in there that were super fun. And then on Tuesdays, we have Grey in the Dark, our noir game. Those are both at 7:30, and Here Be Dragons is at 7. And then come back next week for more Blood from a Stone. Anybody else have anything to say or whatever? I know there's dogs barking.
I did want to ask if there was going to be, on Here Be Dragons, there going to be a Bad Dragon crossover?
The thing is, that game is like our most family-friendly game. So yes, it's going to be really upsetting. There's going to be a deeply disturbing one.
Figure.
Of that.
As long as the family is 18 plus.
See, it gets so complicated when it's other species. Like kobolds are mature at 5. I don't know what to tell you people.
Neelix and Kess,
Wow.
I don't know.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Is it? I think it's a Bad Dragon Bad Friday. Remember when we went to the Bad Dragon a few weeks ago? My God, things happen in this game. See, this domain, like Heistales was a little funny. This domain, like funny stuff happens, but this domain is not funny. This domain is like dark people and dudes who are in love with a dead girl and kind of in love with a live girl now, and he's just all haggard and weird and just it's great. Oh, Craven
It's fun
Gate.
to come back.
No, tell us more.
I don't know how Craven Gate's gonna die, but I know it's gonna be bad. Well, enough about what his death is going to be. I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, be safe, and may you survive the night.
Night.